Welcome back. I'm here with Ed and Darren again, and we're going to preview round 4 of the Pettit Senior Hurling Championship, which takes place over the coming weekend. Our predictions last week, myself and Ed managed to get 4 of them right, and Darren got 3 right. Ed stuck his neck out for a draw in the game between St Anne's and the Fight Harriers, and he was right. I got the Shells to beat Howlers right, and the 3 of us got Ferns, St Martin's and Gorey to win the games. So we're doing reasonably okay so far, so hopefully we can continue with some insights tonight. The first game is at 7 p.m. in Belfield on Friday night, and it's between St Martin's and Ferns St Aidan's. St Martin's are now, I suppose, assured of qualification. They have 6 points with 3 wins out of 3, and Ferns had a win over Feather at the weekend as well, and that nearly assures them a place, but they probably still need to get maybe another point on the board to be definite. So we'll go to Ed first, and we'll see what he thought maybe of the weekend's performances and of the way this game will go.
Yeah, well, the Martins are on 6 points now, and they've been forewarned. People will forget that in 2016 Ferns beat the Martins in the quarter-final stage. It was viewed as a big shock, but the Martins seem to be coming at the right time now, and Ferns had their win at the weekend. I think the Martins will win this, but these matches, they're all so close, and there's it could go either way, but I think the Martins will win it.
Darren, what do you think yourself?
Yeah, probably go with Ed. I think if had it been in Wexford Park, I probably would have had the Martins by a bit more maybe. Just big wide open space probably suits them young lads. Ferns are like Belfield. They'll keep it tight, they'll keep it... it's hard to know. Last year, they put the Martins under a fierce amount of pressure, I think, in Belfield. I just can't see Ferns being able to hold back the likes of Joe Rory, O'Connor and Joe and these young lads. Like, if they do kick on, they could take a lot of minding, but as Ed said, like 2016 to beat him when no one expected to beat him, so yeah. It's not out of the realms of possibility. Like,
the Martins are more suited to Wexford Park for definite. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, and another thing I suppose that went very well from there at the weekend was, you mentioned it last week, Joe Coleman is a top class free taker. He took free small angles the other day and he scored 9 out of 11, which you need your free taker to be doing, and to have someone like that reliable on it is probably maybe something they might have missed last year a little bit.
Yeah, possibly so. 9 out of 11 would be very good when you consider the weather conditions, and seemingly it was very hard to hurl against the wind, even run against the wind, some of them are saying, and to score 9 out of 11 in conditions like that is very good.
Yeah. They also hit, I think, by my calculation, Darren, I think they hit maybe 13 wides, but that'd be a concern, I suppose. Jack O'Connor looked to be on form, and as you said last week, a lot depends on how county men go for their clubs.
Yeah, it do. It's massive sure for the club, for the county men to come back and be firing on all cylinders. Ross is not an easy place to go down. The wind is blowing down there. It's nearly as bad, or probably worse than Wexford Park. And I think the score was a 2-15, which is probably a good score, like with the conditions that was down there. So Belfield the weekend, it's not giving great weather. Probably a bit of a wind blowing, but I think the Martins are probably more adapt to taking the ball up the field. If again the wind, their running game will probably suit them a little bit better than Ferns. So I don't think it'll.
Yeah. And another thing I suppose that might inhibit Ferns' chance a little bit was Johnny Dwyer got a red card at the weekend as well. Now there's talk that maybe video footage might prove otherwise, but there's a possibility maybe that he might be missing the game as well.
Yeah, Johnny will be a loss. Like Johnny will be a loss to any team. He's one of the Ferns' main men. Like, if Johnny gets a sideline 40 yards out, there's a good chance he'll put it over.
Yeah.
It's as good as a free to him. But I don't know. I didn't hear anything about the incident, so we may just wait and see about that.
Did you hear any more about that?
No.
Ferns themselves?
Actually, I couldn't make that match because we were playing at the same time. But I've since seen video, and Ian Byrne looked very good. He scored 14 points, and I think he scored about 4 of them from play. So he looked very good. So he could be a key man on Saturday night.
Yeah, 14 points in a total of 18 is, that's fairly serious shooting, really. But I suppose you'd be expecting maybe some of the other forwards to step up a little bit if they're going to beat St Martin, certainly anyway.
Yeah, well, when Ian is on that type of form, he's capable of that every day,
definitely. So the game is at 7 p.m. in Belfield. We'll just get a final prediction from the lads then in terms of the score and what they think it'll turn out as.
Yeah, well, I think the Martins will win this by 5 points.
I go for the Martins as well by just a couple of points.
I think the fact that St. Martins are qualified, they'll probably still win the game, but maybe not by as much as they might otherwise, maybe 3 or 4 points.